Dear Alaska, dear Alaska, dear Alaska, dear Alaska, dear Alaska, dear Alaska. Remember the first time we met? I was playing hard to get. That time before I ever set eyes on Mount Denali. The moment before I took that breathtaking drive down to Seward. The occasion before I sat on your railroad on the way to Hurricane Gulch. You're more than the soft sand and beautiful sunsets of Kenai. It's the speechless moments of your glacier blue waters reflecting in my eyes. See, you're the girl that said I'd never date, only to fall in love with. I'm a Texas boy, true and true, which means I love hot weather, sweet tea, hiking in cowboy boots, and y'all will always be a part of my vocabulary. But as John Muir once said, never go to Alaska as a young man, because you'll never be satisfied with any other place as long as you live. And he's right. That's why Alaska, I can't stay away from you. You're my home, away from home. Sincerely, Kenai. If you would have asked me 5 years ago to pick one place I'd fall in love with, and you told me Alaska, I'd tell you probably lost your damn mind. How's a guy that hates the cold gonna deal with being alone in Alaska during wintertime? And it's crazy because I absolutely love it. My God. Fast forward to today, and you'd be hard-pressed to find another answer. Alaska, the last frontier. Often misunderstood, it's a beautiful mystery that words can't explain. If you were to ask most people to describe it, they would either say, it's cold and snowy, a place that's either dark or sunny all day, where you go to see the northern lights, or it's a great fishing spot and you should probably be careful with all the moose and bears. And while they aren't wrong, it's not entirely the whole story of how it captures you. It's sort of like when someone says that in Texas it's hot, we ride horses, wear cowboy boots, and listen to country music. You're not wrong, but it's rare to see a cowboy riding a horse sitting in traffic on Interstate 35. So where does my love for Alaska begin? In the fall of 2022, I took a solo trip to Anchorage. I went back and forth with the idea of going to a cold place by myself. Hell, if you asked anyone that knows me, they thought I was crazy for even going.
Alaska? Why would you want to go to Alaska?
Alaska? Boy, you ain't going no damn Alaska. Out here playing. What you going to Alaska for?
Alaska? Why are you going to Alaska? Of all places you could go, we're tropical.
It seems nice. It seems pretty. But that's not something you would normally do.
What's in Alaska? Snow. You don't like the cold. So why would you go there? Number one. Number two, bears. You got bears. Why you gonna go there when there's bears? Bears are scary. Yeah, we ain't got time for that.
Why? It's cold. It's cold. Bruh, the sun stays out and it's still cold. Why Alaska?
But I guess, man, have a good time. Be safe up there. Let me know how it goes. But I don't get it, man. Do you?
And don't they got mises? Them big mises with them dang big old horns. And I heard they vicious. Okay, so stay away from them. Alaska. Boy, you wild.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, bro, Turn on your GPS so I know where you at, because I know them animals out there is no joke. I need to know where you at in real time, okay? I'm not playing, because if I gotta send somebody or if I gotta come, I need to know where you at. You know I love you, and don't get into trouble. Alaska.
But less than 5 minutes into the drive down Seward Highway, I would realize how wrong I was. My eyes in complete disbelief as the sunrise glowed gently against the mountains who reflected back in the water. 2 weeks later, as the snow began to fall, I boarded a plane and headed back to Texas. As the plane lifted off, my heart began to grow fond of the place I swore I hate. I realized how wrong I and so many people were about this place. As amazing as Texas was, the sweet tea and warm weather couldn't fulfill the missing mountains painted along the skyline. Scrolling down Instagram and YouTube, I would often see videos showcasing things I missed out on. So I began a list of things I wanted to see and do when I returned. 1 year to the day, with that list in hand, I boarded a plane and made my way back. Decided to go to Wasilla for the day. Just picked up a few things. I'm headed out. Should be there in about 45 minutes. Haven't really been on this drive yet, so it's one of the drives I kind of wanted to take. I'll go to Seward tomorrow, but the last time I went to Palmer, it was at night to see the Northern Lights. So we'll see what this drive looks like and what this beautiful scenery is going to be today. Absolutely stunning. Just reached Hatcher's Pass. Walking up to the mine, it is stunning. Whew. Unfortunately, time kind of constrained me with having to hike up to Independence State Mine that I couldn't walk up to Hatcher's Pass, but I was like, you know what, I can do this later. One of the big things this time, I needed to get to the airport because my girlfriend was flying in to meet me and go on this journey with me. So I'll pull up to the airport kind of late. She's sitting there shivering cold. She gets in the car, tired, long day. We actually head to bed early. Obviously I've been out all day, but we had to get up super early for the Alaskan Railroad, which in the winter months, October, it's only the first Thursday of every month. And of course we get on the train and the train begins to pull away. And these stories of Alaska that I had been telling her about, and the videos I've been showing her, to watch them together, she's seeing what I'm seeing, the nostalgia's coming back for me, and it's just amazingly perfect. Now this train goes all the way to Hurricane Gulch, but last time I didn't take Hurricane Gulch and I stopped in Talkeetna, and this time we did the same. Oh, it's cold. I just made it to Talkeetna. Let's go grab some food. The train was fun. Eskimos over here. And you know, one thing about I do enjoy Talkeetna, it's this little weird town that reminds me a lot of Wimberley if you live in Texas. And you know, the mayor's a cat, and it's a pretty funny story behind that, but I always stop and we get lunch there. Now I never get lunch at the place that apparently killed the president, because I'm not taking a chance if the president dies, not me. Nah, it's actually a fun joke. I'll let you kind of do your research on that. But you know, we explore the town for the day until the train comes back, which is a few hours. And I kind of like this town. You know, I've been there a few times now, and so each time I go, there's some people that I've seen before. One lady actually went to Houston, so we had a cool, back and forth story when she came to Houston about how hot it was in the winter and things like that. But yeah, we get on the train and head back to Anchorage, eat some dinner, and get ready for the next day, which is one of my favorites. So the next day, we wake up, we head to Seward. Anybody that knows me, the Anchorage to Seward drive is my favorite by far. We're heading down. We're taking, taking small stops on the road because we had out a little early. But today is just raining. I'm like, oh my God. And when we get to Seward, no different. Back to Seward today. This one back here. It's rainy though. You can't see, everything is clear, but yeah, today in Seward. See where it's gonna take us. It's raining. It's not like the first time I went. So I'm like, okay, it's okay. We're gonna make the best of it. And it wasn't a bad journey. We had tons of fun. We're riding the boat. I did get some crazy shots of certain things, the fog, all that made for a good day. I wish it was better, but if anybody knows, that's kind of like the weather in Alaska. It was just raining, and it rains a lot. It's like just like the Pacific Northwest. But I wish it was less clouds, things like that, but it did not take away from the wildlife we got to see, things like that. And on the drive back, we still had plenty of fun. So, overall it was a fun day. I got to enjoy it, being on the water. It's never a bad thing. And I enjoy going to Seward, so we enjoyed that. It was a long ride. She fell asleep a couple times, but next day, wake up. We are going to do something that even I haven't done. Go to Denali National Park. I didn't do this the first time. It's a kind of far drive, but it's definitely, something that's doable. I hadn't done it, she hadn't done it, so let's go. So it's about a 5-hour drive. We head up that way. One of the cool places we stopped along was Houston, Alaska, and which is pretty funny. She's from Houston, Texas, so we just stop in, one of the convenience stores, and it's pretty cool. Kind of reminded us that we are Texans, and we keep heading up the way, and then we come to Denali South View, and oh my God, we're coming up around to actually see it, and then when it opens up, it hits you. Like, this is arguably one of the biggest mountains in the world, however you look at it. You have Everest, you have the one in Hawaii, and you have this one. And we just are stunned, just like, no, this can't be real. It's just, skies are super clear this day. It's like, okay, well, it made up for yesterday, So we continue up to Denali National Park, and it gets colder and colder. And of course, the cold is kind of usually bearable, but today it was pretty cold as we go up the mountain. But Denali National Park is absolutely stunning. We don't stay too long. We do take probably 30 minutes to an hour. We're walking around, hiking, and there's not much animals out here because, of course, it's more toward winter hibernation for bears and things like that, which is actually kind of a good thing. I don't want to have to be running from anything. But, the snow is kind of falling slowly. It's beautiful. It's just really cold. And we decide, all right, let's head back. We got to enjoy it. We got to see it. But that was something I actually got to do for the first time. It was on my bucket list. Knocked that out. And it was pretty cool to be able to experience it with her. Last day, so we wake up and we decide we're gonna stay kind of local. We don't want to go too far with her having to leave later tonight. Of course, last day things. So we decided to stay in Anchorage. We go eat at Snow City Cafe, and the first place we go is to the museum. I had really told her about the museum. I love the museum, and of course, last time I kind of put myself in a time constraint, and I wish I'd given this place a lot more time. So walk in, and of course, one thing I'm hoping is the musical, exhibit gallery last time that I saw wasn't there. But this was the 100-year anniversary of the Alaskan Railroad. So that was cool in itself to see, especially because, a couple days before we actually got to go on and experience it. And so we walk around for a little bit. We get out and we go over to the Alaskan Zoo because I want to see this polar bear, right? She hadn't really experienced it and she wanted to see like a moose and things like that. So we go over to the zoo and, the zoo's just as awesome as last time, except no polar bear. Like, he must not like me or something. Nah, I know he has a pretty big exhibit and it's actually pretty cool how they, give him free range and things like that. So you kind of respect it. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm like trying to figure out what we can do, kind of maximize our time. We head back down Turnagain Arm over to Berg Ridge, kind of walk around up a trail, not all the way up, come to a stop. She's breathing a little heavy, which is pretty funny because I told her it's kind of not hard, but it is pretty hard. We head back down. I'm driving back and I have to drop her off. And she's sad, I'm sad, but she's excited that I have some more time here. She has to go back to Texas and things like that. But it was pretty good experience to have to do the one thing that I didn't get to do last time, especially, and then kind of see it with somebody. And so from this point on, she'll kind of understand my experiences. This is where kind of my journey alone starts off again. I was thinking about going to Seldovia, which is a small island off Homeward, but the ferry doesn't go till tomorrow and doesn't arrive till it gets pretty late. And I don't want to drive 4 hours in the dark. So that being said, we're going to Homeward today. So I'm driving down and, I see Kenai Lake. Oh my God, it was absolutely beautiful. It's just so blue as I'm driving down by the Kenai River all the way down, and then I get to this place that just opens up and the sky opens up and you see the ocean. It's absolutely beautiful. Well, one of the places along the way I just happened to stop. I saw there was a Whiskey Gulch Beach. Take a stop, and wow, the black rocks everywhere. It's just almost unbelievable, right? The things, I'm just like, no way. Stepping on these rocks, I'm looking at it, and it's just absolutely stunning. The cloud coverage actually does not take away from it, but the mountains in the back just seem oh surreal. And I'm like, man, let's go to Homer. So we head over to Homer. At this time, Homer's pretty cool. It's you kind of drive down into town and it just kind of comes to an end, literally an end of the highway. And unfortunately, it was really, really cloudy. There wasn't really much to do, and it's a pretty long drive, so I decide I'm gonna head back because I still wanted to hit Kenai Beach. So I head, back. And here was a really stunning part. When I stepped out to Kenai Beach, I did not expect the beach that I saw. The way the sunset was coming down was just absolutely unbelievable. And I'm in shock. I'm like, this isn't what I pictured Alaska to be. And I'm just in shock. I'm enjoying it. I just sit there and just enjoy the sand. There's jellyfish on the ground. Like, this isn't what you hear when you're in Alaska. You hear ice, you hear cold, things like that. And so I head back and, almost like, man, I should have left a little bit earlier today to enjoy this, but I'm not too mad. It's a pretty good day. One of the places I had really wanted to visit was Whittier, and Porter's Glacier was along the way. So, I was going to go visit Whittier for the day, which is pretty cool kind of town. It's kind of secluded, and, I was kind of doing research. It's this town that everybody pretty much lives in one building, which I'm like, that's pretty cool. I really want to see it, and I'm gonna go into this kind of resurfaced. It was an army tunnel for supplies that they've turned since into like, a passage, but you can only go one way at a time, and it closes at a certain time of the day. So if you don't make it out of Whittier, you're a POW, as they call it, a prisoner of Whittier, which is pretty cool. Seeing it was Army Town and things like that. So today it's super cold and it's supposed to snow, which I'm kind of excited about. I kind of really don't want, because some places tomorrow I want to go. And I don't know if I want to drive if it's snowing, but we'll see. Just taking it all in. So I pull up, you're waiting in line until whichever direction goes. So I just arrived at the Whittier. It's about 5 minutes to go through this 2.5 mile tunnel that you cannot go over 25. You gotta have your headlights on, and they said do not stop for anything unless it's an emergency. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I've never been through like a huge tunnel, and it's gonna be really cool to see Whittier. It is raining right now. It ain't too bad. I'm kind of used to it at this point. But there's snow accumulating on the mountaintops, so I know that's going to be coming soon. I'm not too mad. It's not a beautiful day, but it's not an ugly day. I'm going to make the best of it. So as soon as they release traffic in, I'll see y'all on the other side. You head through this tunnel, and it's super cool, but also super nerve-wracking. You can't go too fast. You don't want to hit these walls, because this is literally a tunnel through a mountain. And then you come over to the other side, and it just opens up, and it's this super amazing town. There's mountains, all around it. The ocean's right there. You can tell it's a port town, all the boats in there. And again, unfortunately, it's October, and I wasn't the only one. I thought there would be some more restaurants open. There weren't. And so there was very limited things to do in Whittier. It was really cool to see. One of the things I got to experience, but there, with not much to do, a couple hikes here and there, I decided after a couple hours, I got back into the line to head the other way, and then go see Portage Lake and Glacier. Again, my luck. Portage Lake is actually beautiful, but there's kind of a fog in the background, and you can't see Portage Glacier. So you can kind of see it, but barely. I decide to take a long hike on, the Trail of Blue Ice, as they call it, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a pretty long hike. I'm just walking. Now, I didn't complete the whole thing. Again, I'm on my own, by myself. I do have bear spray, but nobody really knows I'm out here. I'm losing signal, things like that. So after probably about 2-3 miles, I reverse, head back. I get back in my car, and you can kind of take a couple stops on the way back to Anchorage, and kind of prepare for the last day, because it's coming to an end. I'm about to check out of the hotel. I'm packing up, as you can see. Bittersweet. I don't leave till tonight though, so that's good. I'm going to just kind of finish up this trip by re-admiring some things, going to see a few final things, but in total it was a success. I can't ask for much more. I came here, I conquered everything I wanted to redo that I didn't get to do last time, that I was, excited about. I didn't do it all alone this time. I got to spend it with somebody. And now I have goals for next time. But if you're wondering if you should come out here, this is now my second home. This Texas boy has a second home. I'm probably the opposite of a snowbird, but hey, can't complain. So I load up my car and decide to head back to Hatcher's Pass. Of course, the first day I went to Independence State Mine, but due to time and having to be at the airport, I didn't get to do Hatcher's Pass. So I figured last day I'm going to do Hatcher's Pass. Easy enough, right? Well, as I start driving to Palmer, the snow comes down harder and harder and harder. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm creeping up the mountain, and it's pretty hard. And as crazy as it sounds, I'm not thinking nothing of it. So almost to Hatcher's Pass, and it is snowing. It's crazy out here, y'all. Just a little bit longer to go and then head up to Hatcher Pass, but I'm excited. Snow is everywhere. What am I going to do? We're going to do this. That's what I thought. We're going to do this. I'm here. Now, the stupid part is, no one knows I'm doing this. I have an energy drink, no water. I don't even take the energy drink, but I do chug it before I go up. And I start walking. And the incline is so crazy. Almost there. Half more mile left. And it's just coming down hard. But I keep going. Yeah. Hatchet Pass sign behind me. But I can't reach it. It's getting kind of dangerous. Knee deep in the snow. Since I'm by myself, I don't want to do anything stupid. So, but I call it as she says. I can see the sign. I just can't take a picture with it. There's no point in risking it. But damn, it's beautiful. And hard. Yeah. I'm on my way down when I realized I didn't even throw the snowball. So that I messed up, but goals, baby. See my dad's. Or I climb him out. Now, the simple thing is, I had my stroke a few years ago. I said I'm gonna do everything I wanted to do. I wanted to accomplish some things. The big reason being, God granted me another day. I woke up this morning blessed. I did. Not everybody woke up this morning. I had a stroke. But you know what? Where it weakened me, made me stronger in some areas. And to say I could climb a mountain 3 years after a stroke. Some days my right arm don't work. Some days my left foot don't work. Rub me right. Sorry, right side. It's a blessing, man. And I'm truly humbled by his greatness and surrounded by everything he's made. If you don't believe there's a God, that's fine. But from the mountaintop, man, thank you, Lord. Thank you for keeping me safe on this journey. So I head back. I gather some things for my family, gifts, friends, and especially I always got to get my dad a hat. He won't let me come back without a hat. If you know him, yeah. So I get back. I'm kind of telling everybody, you know, I got all this film, but I just need a little relaxing time. And I'm telling my dad about the whole trip over the phone. And I'm like, Dad, you should have came with me. And he goes, oh, I know, but you know, I'm gonna go next time, you know. And I knew there was a reason why he didn't come, but I was like, come for a few days, because Dad, what if there's no next time? And that was kind of something my dad had always told me. What if they just live in the moment, do now, right? And yeah, and he jokes, he chuckles. He's like, nah, I got savings. I'm gonna be there next time. We're gonna go look at the whales, because that's one of the things he wanted to do. And I'm like, bet. So, you know, I'm like, what can we do next time? Unfortunately, 2 days after that conversation, my dad passed away. And this place that I had loved I couldn't miss it without missing him. And missing it wasn't the same. I didn't want to go back because he wasn't coming with me. I wasn't going to go watch these whales by myself. I wasn't going to go experience Alaska. I wasn't going to do everything that I wanted to do with him. And for months, I just sat there. Never knowing if I was going to go back, because this place that I had fallen in love with wasn't the same no more. And everybody said, you still need to go, you still need to enjoy life. But all this film that I had from my last trip, I couldn't watch it. I couldn't make this film here. I couldn't do it. And then one day I woke up. And the words that had haunted me, what if there's no next year, began to push me. I'm gonna live for my pops. And so I began to book a trip. Everything that I wanted to do, and I was gonna go on this trip, and I'm gonna do it for him. And that's just what I did. So, supposed to leave to Alaska in the morning, really like 3 a.m. So, I'm very excited, but it's a mixed emotion thing because my dad was supposed to come with me.
May I have your attention, please?
We're on our
To
way.
help us ensure the safety.
So back in Alaska, and I'm super excited. Unfortunately, when I get off the plane, my ears don't pop. I've tried everything and they're just hurting. So I head to Walmart to grab a few things that I kind of needed because I did pack kind of heavy. So I left some things. And when I get to Walmart, kind of searching for eardrops, things like that, I come across this huge thing of summer sausage, and I pause. And it's kind of crazy because my dad, when we were younger, we would go to the corner store. It was called Howard's, and he'd always get summer sausage. And the fact that it was just this huge display, summer sausage, right there, brought back those memories. And I'm just like, it's not even on sale or anything. What are you doing to me, Dad? So I head out. I have a few hours before I check into Girdwood. So of course I head to Moose's Tooth, which is my favorite place to eat. Take a quick stop in there. I meet this amazing waitress. She's so awesome. I can't thank her enough. She just lost her sister, I believe. And we're chatting up. She has some, I think her fiance is from Texas and things like that. So it was really cool. And this is obviously my favorite place to eat. So, I stopped for a few minutes. I head out, and on the way, I see Bird Point, and I stop at Bird Point. Bird Point is my favorite stop to always stop. So, I stopped there and I get some footage. It's really cool because my old drone kind of messed up last time I was in Alaska, and I have a new drone this time. So pretty excited to get some cool shots that I can do. And I'm heading out, and I have a couple hours. I'm just exploring, the area. And so I'm like, you know what? On the way in, I'm already in Girdwood. I'm gonna go back to Virgin Creek Falls, right? Because last time I didn't really have enough time to kind of do that. That was kind of a last minute thing before I left. But this time, I did have a lot more time. rude awakening. My mental state was, I'm going here in May. There's gonna be whales. The snow's gonna be melting. You know, a southern mentality. First day in Alaska. Kind of been doing some easy shoots. Like I said, haven't got my ear back yet, but decided to go to, it's slippery out here, Virgin Creek Falls, since it's literally right by where I am currently staying. Ain't gonna lie though, this trail is one of the most unique and beautiful jungles you can find out here. Had to watch my step. There was snow everywhere. And so I'm trying to, hike up to Virgin Creek Falls, which isn't a hard hike by any means, but there are places where it's kind of, weird steps, and with snow and ice, doesn't help. Last time I was here, wasn't any snow, wasn't any ice, and it was winter. Now it's spring and it's the opposite. So yeah. So I get as close as I can, and it's pretty cool. And then on the way back, I slipped and fell. Like, it was pretty funny. I'm sitting there laughing, holding the camera, and I just slipped. And I'm looking up in the sky, and I'm just like, oh man, boots and snow don't work. Cowboy boots have been working on my hikes until this point. So I'm like, dang, what am I gonna do? I'm not expecting this. Well, I head to Girdwood, I check in, and I kind of head out, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not too far from Portage Lake. I'm gonna go to Portage Lake. I'm gonna see Portage Glacier. So again, get in the car, head over there, and big surprise. It was frozen. I'm staring at Portage Lake. This is a frozen lake, and I am just stunned. Like, it is so amazing that it's the best disappointment I've ever had, because not expecting it, one, and two, I had never really seen a frozen lake. And I'm like, but this is May. It's not October. In October it wasn't frozen, but in May it's frozen. So my head is all confused. I had a pretzel in my head, right? And so I'm like, oh my God, like, are all the lakes frozen? So I start to kind of have to question everything. Head back in. Let's get day 2 started. Started off with a cold shower in Alaska. Was definitely never on any of my bucket lists, especially 2024. So, hey, learning a lot of things about Alaska. First thing, a lot of snow, a lot of ice everywhere. I'm thinking, hey, it's gonna be spring, it's gonna be green everywhere. It's not. It's still very beautiful. Some shots I would love to take, but I've only been here in October, so I've only seen the snow come in, not go out, which is pretty cool. Other than busting my ass yesterday, but you just got to take it on the head. The cold shower, just an obstacle for today, but I'm really excited to see what today brings. I really don't even know where I'm gonna go. I had an idea, but some of the things I can't go to right now, so I'm gonna wait at least a week and then kind of go in that direction. But let's see where today takes us. So I head out, of course. One place I'm gonna go. I'm going to Seward. It's so amazing. That drive never loses the nostalgia, the feel. I could do it 100 times and it's just as great every time. There's places that I can stop every single time. This is actually the first time from my documentary that I shot, and I said, what does a guy that hates the cold, that didn't want to go to Alaska, think about Alaska? And once again, it's spectacular. Like, it's just somewhere on the side of the road. Like, only thing is, I do think I wish my dad could see this. I wish my dad could be here right now. I wish my dad could experience it. And it does feel a little alone. The first time I went alone, but this time feels alone. Because girlfriend couldn't be here. And my dad obviously couldn't be here. And there was other people I asked, they just could not be there. So I'm taking a drive. And I actually head in to Seward, and I pass by the Alaskan Sea Life Center. And every time I'm here, I say, I'm gonna do it. But either time constraint or something else where it's like, man, I can't even get over there. And those words, what if there's no tomorrow, kind of reflect everything I do on this trip. And that is the first time it hit me. So I pull into the parking lot, lock up, head in. And it's so amazing. It's awesome. There's so many things to do, the sea life, things like that. And I run into this worker. I guess she's there from Georgia. And I'm like, you know what? This is the perfect person to ask. I'm here for a couple weeks. When's the best time to see the whales? I can schedule it. I don't have to do it right now. I can wait. And she goes to tell me, she's like, well, it's the first day we kind of seen humpback whales, and the first day they seen some orcas. Going to be really hard to kind of see the orcas, near the shore. Might get lucky and see the humpback whales, which I guess one of her coworkers had seen, but she's like, I had not seen them yet, so it's kind of a rare sighting. And I was like, cool. We chop it up a little bit. It's pretty cool to see a southerner out there, and she understands my confusion about the seasons, because this is May, right? We're heading into summer. That's summer in Texas. It's not winter. So pretty cool. I get out of there. At first I'm gonna eat, but I said, no, I'm gonna go up to Lowell Point. I'd always said I'd go there, but I always get there and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna go. Well, this time I do go out, and oh my God, it is my favorite place in Seward now. Like, I love Seward. I love the drive here, but this place, there's just something about the beach and this is during low tide, and I'm just so stunned. So, of course, pull out the drone, doing a couple shots, I'm flying, and I see some like seals or sea lions. Not quite sure. I'm not the one that works at the Alaska Sea Life Center. They're kind of swimming by, I get a couple of shots. I'm flying the drone back in. The scenery is amazing. I'm looking out. I'm looking down at my controller, flying, just making sure everything's right. Then I look up and I see 2 dorsal fins. And I'm flying the drone, and it's whales. And they're not supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be here right now. This is the hardest thing to see. They just got here. I wanted to go see the whales with my dad, and they're right here. And for the first time, I couldn't fly a drone. So, I'm in a lost state of word, but I just saw some orcas. It's apparently learned it's the first day they arrived. I'm not supposed to see them right here, and they just popped up in front of me. And that's pretty dope. It's pretty much my dad. I can't explain it to you, but I know he's here with me. I was overcome with so much emotion. I sat down, had some tears roll out. And that moment right there was just surreal. So I gather my things, gather my emotions, hop in the car, and I head back to Girdwood with one intent. I am stopping at this one lake. I don't know what it's called, but when I do get there, I read a sign, Mad Sally Lake. Now, the story behind this lake is, I don't know how true it is, but very, very interesting. So I would let you go there or really read up on it on its own. But this lake is frozen. But it's absolutely beautiful. I've had a mental kind of change, like this is my expectation now. You know, the first day was kind of like unexpected, but it's not the worst thing. But intrusive thoughts get in my head, like how frozen is it? Like, can I walk on it frozen? No, I'm not alone. I might walk on a lake, but smart me, I just grab a rock, toss one. Just bounces off the ice. Kidding me? Bigger rock. And then finally, I take my boot, and I'm not a weak person, start hitting at it, and yeah, it's a frozen lake. Now, I still don't get on it, but the scenery out here is absolutely stunning of how blue the water is, because I've seen the water unfrozen and frozen, and it's almost like straight out of a movie. I head back in because the next day, I'm going to go do a couple things. Thunderbird Falls. Day 3. I was extremely tired yesterday. It was a fun day, emotional day, long drive. But I think I'm gonna head north. I'm gonna grab lunch in Anchorage, of course, at one of my favorite spots. I think I'm gonna keep going north because the weather looks clear up there. Down south, Seward, Homeward, it's a lot of rain today. So tomorrow's supposed to clear up. So I think I'm gonna go to Homeward, Kenai tomorrow. We'll see. I'm just kind of winging it. Just because when I planned to get here, thought it was gonna be a little less snow. So I kind of want to kind of track, figure it out. But I'm just here having fun, just experiencing all that it has to offer this time. So I wake up and head up to Eagle River to do Thunderbird Falls. So the first time I was with people, we did Thunderbird Falls. We didn't actually make it all the way down. They were kind of tired. I was tired. It's been a long trip. This time, I'm going to do it no matter what. And so Thunderbird Falls is not a very hard hike, but it is a very hard hike. Like, it's not very far, but up and down, it can get you. Like, if you haven't worked out, and me, I work out a lot. I'm athletic, I just don't work out a lot. Next time I decided to come to Alaska, y'all remind my dumbass to exercise or something. I'm telling you right now, I'm doing pretty damn good for honey buns and Kool-Aid and energy drinks and tacos, fried chicken. But I'll probably do a lot better if I had to drink the thing called water. And maybe ran like actual rain, not just my mouth and to the fridge, you know. Unless we get it done out here. And, you know, I'm going, and this time I get there. And Thunderbird Falls is absolutely amazing. I am stunned. It would have been a little more amazing other than this is the first time I actually met the Alaskan mosquitoes, and you know, they jumped me, but it's okay. I handled my own and continued to film this beautiful, magnificent waterfall that's just, it's really not hard to get to, and I'm just sitting there. And this place, you can kind of go down and then you can kind of go along the riverbed, but it's amazing. Next stop, Oklunta Lake. I could be saying that wrong, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'd seen these pictures and all the TikToks, the Instagrams, like I'm gonna go see it. With the expectation that it'd probably be frozen, and yes, it was very, very frozen, but beautiful nonetheless. It's so wide open, and you know, the first thought when I see all these lakes that are frozen that I had never seen before, I can't wait to see them unfrozen. So it kind of gives me something to do for the next time, right? I kind of walk around, but it is actually really cold because the wind is blowing really hard off the lake. And so I don't stay very long because there's one thing that I have to see, Hatcher's Pass. If you remember the last time I was here, which actually the last day, I didn't get to complete Hatcher's Pass. Snow started falling too heavy. And I know in my heart of heart that it's impossible to do this. I know that because of all this other's frozen. Snow, when it first snowed, probably not. But I have to try, right? At least say that I tried. So I head up there, and I get to Independence State Mine, and yeah, it's a no-go. It's a no-go. I see trails for snowmobiles up there. I can't even see where, you know, the path was that I tried to walk last time, which is perfectly okay. I now know that I can't do this, but I tried. That's the biggest thing. I'm not disappointed. It's actually very beautiful to see the snow everywhere, and it's kind of a different vibe than the last time I went. But heading down, I know, not much to do up here. So, capture a few shots, of course. Then I head back to Girdwood. Okay, so Hatcher's Pass didn't go the way I wanted to. Fine. I'm gonna go down to Homer, but I did want to go to Sedovia, so I'm gonna look it up. You guessed it. The ferry doesn't go to Sedovia until the Sunday after I leave. It's fine. I'm still gonna take this tour, this trip down there, because there was a lot of things that I didn't get to stop and enjoy last time. First up, Cooper's Landing. So I head south and I reach Cooper's Landing, and today is absolutely stunning. When you take pictures or you create pictures or you color pictures as a kid, like this is that blue water that you colored as a kid with the green trees. So this is one of the times where it was better than October. The water is icy blue, the sun is shining, the scenery is absolutely amazing. I'm just sitting next to the water's trickling by. I mean, I think I sat there probably for an hour, not just filming, but just enjoying the scenery, the sounds, the beauty of everything. And this actually excites me. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go down to Whiskey Gulch, which is right before Homer. And as you know, last time I got there, this was this beautiful, quiet beach, nobody there. And I pull up and there's people there. Now, don't get me wrong. I probably expected that there should have been people there. Like that should have been my expectation. But back in my head, I was just hoping that this very beautiful, intimate beach that I had discovered accidentally was there the same way that I had found it. Now, don't get me wrong, this time, stepping on those black rocks, the sound, the waves crashing against the beach was absolutely beautiful. Bald eagles everywhere, almost just as many as seagulls, just about. People were, doing campfire to my left, but to the right was actually pretty clear. And it was a very, very kind of nostalgic, the same feeling, the scenery and all that was just as beautiful. You know, I just kind of wished it was to myself, but it wasn't a bad thing. So now, off to Homer, right? Now, Homer, the cool thing is once you get there, there is like a scenery view to the right before you go into town. And you can kind of look down on what they call the Homer Spit. And it's just pretty much all the shops and everything's on the beach right there next to Homer. And so, you know, I kind of take in that scenery and I head down, and there was a few things that I wanted to see. Now, I did, you know, come to where the road ends pretty much, and I get out, and the water today is just beautiful. It's crashing against the beach. There's people fishing everywhere. You know, I kind of actually talked to a guy that was actually from Texas, which is always cool when you run into people like far away from Texas. It's just a Texas thing. That's just one thing I can tell you. And so one of the places I didn't go to the last time was a Salty Dog Saloon. So I decided, you know, I'm gonna head in here. Now, my one complaint about this saloon, it's probably because it built a long time ago. It almost like it's for hobbits or midgets, right? You have to like duck to get in. But when you go in, it's absolutely friendly. There's dollar bills posted against all the walls. It's a great environment. You know, I bought one of my friends a hat. You know, I step out, I kind of enjoy it. And, you know, I take this road trip back to Girdwood and I stop along the way and just kind of enjoy the scenery. And it was a great day. You know, it was actually a little bit better than last time, minus the whole Whiskey Gulch having other people. But, you know, the beauty of everything, the day was clear. I couldn't ask for much more. Biggest mistake I made the first time was thinking that when I went to Alaska, I was just going to go from Anchorage up to Fairbanks, Anchorage to Juneau, and I'm going to see all these places in a day. No, Alaska is huge, even for a Texan. Anchorage to Fairbanks is about 7 hours, right? So I decided today I'm actually going to go to Fairbanks. The furthest I had been on the last trip was to Denali, and so we're going to go a little bit further today. So I head up there, and of course I do stop by Denali South Point View, but unfortunately, snow. It is beautiful today, by the way, but I can't go back there. It's closed for the season. Which is crazy. So I can't really see it. What do? I pull out the drone and capture some awesome footage. And continue to head up. There is also one spot that was on my to-do list that last time I didn't capture enough film because my drone died and time constraint, you know, Denali being at least 5 hours away from wherever I'm usually at. I take a stop, pull over, find it, and it's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. The snow is melting. The landscape is amazing. So get the drone out. I'm doing a little bit of filming, and then all of a sudden I hear this loud explosion. Like, what? And probably like 2 seconds later, you know, the ground just feels like it's like going up and down, and I'm like, pretty sure that's an earthquake. No, there's lots of earthquakes in Alaska. This isn't my first one, but this is kind of the like most I've felt one, and just kind of weird. And so I look over to this young couple and I'm like, was that an earthquake? And they're like, no, we're not from here. They're from another country, which is pretty cool. And they go, well, we think it was. So I finish up filming, hop back in the car. That shit was crazy. But the explosion, like, I was like, boom. What the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Not a gunshot, like a boom. That shit was cool, man. I ain't gonna lie. Scary, but cool. Yeah, so, well, here we go. Once I get signal, it was an earthquake. Which, you know, not bad, but let's continue on the trip, right? That was something that's pretty cool. It's like my dad saying, hey, I'm still here, being loud, you know, things like that. No, I'm just kidding. But so I head up to Fairbanks just to kind of see it. And, you know, my one complaint on the way to Fairbanks is Fairbanks doesn't have as many turnouts where you can sight view as if you were going, you know, south from Anchorage and even anywhere up to Denali. But it's beautiful nonetheless. And then, of course, today I was going to head over to North Pole, Alaska, because I heard it kind of been 24-hour Christmas there. And I did go up there. It was a little disappointing, but on the way back, this is kind of where personally was a very grieving drive, very, I don't know, peaceful. So I know tomorrow is the Whales, and I'm just driving back and kind of in silence. And anybody knows me, I love music. And so I'm driving. I just kind of feel my dad's presence with me. Now, if you're in the car with me, it sounds like I'm probably talking to myself, but, you know, talking out my feelings in that car, I felt my dad was with me. And the one thing I told him was, hey, Pops, when we see the Whales tomorrow, you're good, man. I know you're sticking around here. You came on this trip with me. You've been with me. I felt his presence, whether y'all want to believe it or not. But I said, Pops, tomorrow when we see the Whales, I'm good. I'm staring at his hat in the passenger seat, his phone in the passenger seat, and I'm just like, Pops, we good. I got this. I'm gonna be all right. A little bit later, turn on the music as I head back. See a few things along the way and head to bed a little early. So, I wake up, it's the day we watch the Whales. And I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't very emotional to do the one thing in Alaska that my pops wanted to do. And even when I get in the car, a song that plays is very emotional, and so I head down to Seward. This amazing drive that I've always loved, just was a little numb today. A little bit late to Seward. About to go take a 6.5-hour cruise to watch the Whales. So it's gonna be very emotional because that's what my dad wanted to do. So yeah, let's get this. You know, I pull up to Seward and we're getting on the boat, and I have all this stuff. I have his camera. I don't even know what to do with this hat at this point. I really thought I'm gonna leave it on this boat, I had never given him his hat, so I've been carrying it around. But I said, let's watch the Whales. We head out to sea. And when I say this day couldn't have been more perfect, the weather was perfect. Seeing whales, porpoises. We saw humpback whales. We saw 2 orcas that actually swam up to the boat. A lot of film I didn't get to do because I was just encaptured in this perfect moment that my dad wanted, and we did it. It was the first time I've been on the 6-hour cruise, and we pull up to a glacier, and I got to see a glacier up close for the first time. I got to do it. It was so perfect, the weather was so perfect that we were heading back, and the captain said, I see some more whales, but we can't stop. We won't make it back in time. That's how much we had stopped. That's how perfect it had been. The weather's so blue, the sky's blue. Remember last time we went, it was raining, it was, you know, first time was okay, but this was just, I've been 3 times, this is perfect. And I didn't want it to end. I didn't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't want to get off that boat. I knew. That was it. on the left. What goes for him? I remember I had goals for me, but I knew. But when I stepped off the boat, I didn't realize that something magical would happen. I got off the boat and I head back to the car, but I look back and there's a rainbow from the dock to the sky. Say what you want, but it meant the world to me. When I drove over to Low Point to decompress, the rainbow was more vibrant. You could see it. It's so cloudy to the left. There's this rainbow, and then to the right, it's these blue skies. And all I thought was, we saw the whales. I miss you, Pops. And the world just felt like the weight just lifted off my shoulder. I did the one thing that I set here to do for my pops. And there's no better feeling than that. So the day after, of course, very emotional day, I don't want to do too much, but one of the things I really wanted to see that I have not been able to see was the Alaskan boar tide. It's this kind of natural phenomenon where a wave comes in twice a day because the tidal changes is about 30 feet. So it's a huge change and then it kind of channels. But I hadn't been able to see it. And luckily this time is the moon phase is right. Everything should be perfect. So I kind of stay around the Girdwood area, you know, early on in the morning, go grab some ice cream. I head over to Cooper's Landing just to kind of see the Kenai River. It's so blue. It's kind of a relaxing little day. The furthest I really go is over to Kenai Beach, but I head back because I need to be back in time for this phenomenon that I have not been able to see for some reason or another. So I head over to Beluga Point. I get there early. I'm looking at this schedule they have. We're sitting there. It's not just me, it's a couple tourists. And we're waiting. I'm looking around and it's like, what are you really looking for? Like, I've seen the videos, but like, what am I waiting for? Noise, things. We're waiting there for a while. And then it seems like the tide just had already risen. Now I came an hour early. And I'm like, how did I miss it? And I somehow missed it. It wasn't just me, it's a lot of people. And I'm like, what am I missing? So disappointed, I head back and kind of prepare because I have a few more days to see it. The next day, I get up, I head back to Seward, Low Point, because I just wanted to relax. And this place had now become a very emotional, sentimental place. But, you know, I kind of been there. I never really went up onto the trails and kind of explored behind that area. I'd only kind of been to the beach and only really temporary, either after I'm done something or just a short period. So I don't want to get too far because I still got to see this boar tide. Because the night before, I'm like, maybe I'm going to change my perspective and see it. Well, time comes. I'm getting back extra early today. So take the drive back to Girdwood. From Seward, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're gonna see this. And I decide to go right a little bit past Girdwood to see it. I want to say it's turn point 4. And I'm waiting, and I'm like, I'm gonna see it. Because this time, I see surfers getting out, and I'm like, if they're here, I know this is the spot, right? Last time I didn't see him. You're waiting. And a few moments later, I hear this rushing water come in and I see it. This is something that I wanted to do in 3 tries, and I see it. It's not the easiest thing to find, but when you see it, it's just something that's like, goal, checked it off the list. And it was worth it. It's the final day, and I decide to go to Barber Falls today. I want to do Exit Glacier because every time I come, I add a few more things to my to-do list, and kind of these things have been put on there. Russian Falls was one of them, but I decided to do Exit Glacier instead because it just seemed like a little bit better hike in general, and of course, again, connection to Seward. So I head up to Eagle River and to see the Barber Falls. I get completely lost because Google Maps takes me in the wrong direction, and I know, I'm like, man, this ain't right. Luckily, a few people in the neighborhood kind of pointed me in the right direction. So I get out of the car, kind of take a hike. You can hear the falls as you walk up to it. Ooh, can y'all hear it? Almost there. And it is amazing. It's a good one. It's definitely a good one. I'm glad I, got to do it. I don't know how in the first 2 trips I had not gone here because I'm right in the back door of Anchorage. And so get back to the car and head to Exit Glacier. Taking kind of everything in because this is going to be my final drive, for at least for a little bit, down to Seward. And I get to Seward, I take the road to Exit Glacier, and it's closed. So unfortunately, the road to Exit Glacier is closed. It's beautiful out here. But it's not that I can't do it, I just don't have the time to do it for my flight leaving early. It's a 7-mile drive on the road. The road's just closed. Takes 7 miles there back. Yeah, that's not even counting the trailhead. But it's beautiful out here. And I'm gonna miss it. So I'll be back, of course. And I could hike, but the distance is gonna be just too far for me to get back and, do everything I need to do, pack and all that. And so I kind of sit in the area. Everything says, man, go on this hike, just kind of like the last time I was here. Let's just go up this mountain. But smartly, I'm like, no, I don't want to get back late and things like that. So as I head back to Girdwood, leaving Seward, couldn't do Exit Glacier. Kind of bummed. I was trying to pick something that I could do that wasn't too hard. I probably would have chose something else, knowing that the road was closed, or I don't know. I don't know if I would have took 7-mile hike to the thing. Not before I have to get up early. But it is bittersweet. This place is going to be by far my favorite. I have so many memories here, especially after this trip. So many thoughts, so many emotions running through, but this trip was an amazing trip. It's my 3rd time coming to Alaska. And unfortunately, even though Exit Glacier was closed, it just leaves me something else to knock out on my Alaskan bucket list. So I got a few things, and you know, I'm kind of taking it in. It's kind of weird because there's still areas that are still snowing and things like that. I kind of enjoy everything, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta go back to Girdwood. So right before I get back, how about this? Let's go do Virgin Creek Falls one more time. So I'm about to take about an hour and a half and go back to Girdwood and try to catch the Virgin Creek Falls, because you know, the first time I was there, snow sort of like this. As I leave Seward, a lot of emotions, a lot of memories will be had. Roll up to Virgin Creek Falls, a lot better this time. First time, this was all snow. So, way easier. Sort of like the last time I was here when I slip and fell. There's not ice everywhere. It's still melting and there's still snow everywhere, but it's a little bit more muddy. I can actually step in my boots this time. And I'm kind of reflecting as I'm going up, not only the last trip, the one before, but everything coming to the end of this trip. I made it back to Virgin Creek Falls. It's actually the first place I came when I came back. You can see very little snow and ice, so it's a lot easier to walk. Yeah, I can't complain. Got to see Barber Falls, Virgin Creek Falls today. Exit Glacier was kind of a disappointment, but hey, that's Alaska. Everything doesn't go your way, and I just didn't have the time to do it. But overall, this was a perfect trip. Very emotional trip, but I mean, my dad wasn't with me physically, but he was definitely here in spirit. And this trip will ever be forever in my memories. I don't know if any trip can top this, but you know, I got to do everything pretty much that I wanted. The stuff that I couldn't do is because, hey, I'm a southerner, and I didn't know it'd still be snowing and ice everywhere in May, mid-May at that. So I do have some stuff left on my Alaskan bucket list, which is not the worst. I mean, Exit Glacier is going to be one of them. Off the top of my head, Carter Lake. What's the other one? Some falls near Kenai Lake. So I mean, I do have a lot of stuff left, but I'm not gonna sit here and complain. I will be sad going back to Texas. I miss Texas, I miss the heat, but when you get off that plane, you start driving, you don't see any mountains. I mean, it's a big difference. But again, I can't be more grateful of how perfect this trip was, how it went. I didn't want to come alone, but in the end, there was a reason for it, and I'm truly blessed. Whether you believe in God or not, I do. And him and my dad have shown me a lot. I'm a better man going back to Texas. I'm a little more Alaskan going back to Texas. Not a lot, but a little bit. I do know this place pretty well, and I'm gonna miss it. See y'all back in Texas. And so I get back to my place where I'm staying, and I'm just sitting there and just reflecting on all this trip. You know, I'm going back to Texas. There are things in Texas that I do miss. Don't think I, don't, but I really don't want to leave, right? So I pack up begrudgingly, lay down. It's almost like I can't sleep this night, but get ready for the next day. So as I'm packing up, I'm not ready to leave. Man, I put the suitcases in the car so slow. I'm looking around at all the mountains in Girdwood. And I hit the highway as I passed along Turnagain Arm. This place that I had first seen when I first came, and I didn't want to be here, and it caught my attention. The same place that made me fall in love, bring somebody back, enjoy it with somebody else. The same place that held me close and helped me grieve my own dad. This place means so much more to me than any other place. And even though there were things that I did not get to do that were out of my control, I was okay with, because I know I'm coming back. And Hatcher's Pass, I'm gonna do it. Segovia, I'm gonna see it. It might not be now, but it will be. The thing about Alaska is there's no words to explain its beauty, the journey that you have there, whether you're on a wave in the Alaskan Bortai, you're surfing, or you're climbing a mountain, you're hiking, you know, there's so much to do in this magical place. So Alaska, until next time I see you, I just want to say, I love you. Y'all check this out. I just got back from Houston, Alaska. And so I went in the convenience store real quick, and I said, man, it's a tiny Houston. I'm used to a bigger one, Houston, Texas. And the girl goes, well, everything's not bigger in Texas. We're bigger than you. And I said, that's cool until you're in there. I said, you know, Alaska's like a shower and Texas like a grower. But we're gonna put it down. And she had nothing to say. She had nothing to say. Because one thing you're not going to do is talk shit about Texas. And as much as I love Alaska, you know what I'm saying? And she literally dapped me up and said, I ain't never heard no shit like that. And I said, size does matter. But it's the motion in the ocean, bitch.